Good afternoon, everybody. This is Joyce from BoQ Creations, and I am coming to you today with a very exciting product. And I'm going to give you guys just a second to log on because I don't want you to miss anything. So, last year, tell you a little bit about this product. Last year, I was looking for that perfect gray color that you could use to get kind of a no line, like instead of this black outline here, so you could get a no line. And Susan told me about this Ink on 3 fade out. So I thought, well, you know what? I have to have this. So I called Florette Bloom, who is the owner and operator of Ink on 3, and I talked to her a little bit about this ink, and she said that it's perfectly neutral. It's not warm, it's not cool, but it does give you a no line watercolor. So if you are trying to watercolor without the black lines like this, that fade out ink is the best. So I did use it on here. Hi Annie, I hope you're feeling better. Thank you for watching. I would also like to say a very, very happy birthday to Susan Tierney Coburn. I love you, girl. I hope you have a great birthday, and lots of love to you. So anyway, thank you, Florette, for sending me all of these inks. I was one of the first people to receive these, so I'm really, really excited. I do have to tell you that I did purchase these. They are not given to me. I purchased them so that I could give you a description and an accurate reflection of what I think about these inks without, being swayed by the vendor. So, hi Shar, how are you? So I wanted to show you a little bit about these inks, and I was playing with them personally last night. This is the first thing that I created with those inks. Now, I want to show you something. The neatest thing about these inks is that, well, I found, is that one, I don't know if you can pick up here this red right here. I stamped this and then I started painting it red, and I wasn't real sure about, hi Caitlin. Caitlin was watching me last night when we were doing this, so she can tell you that it was red when I started. I didn't like it, so I thought, well, she said we're supposed to be able to put some orange or yellow on top of it, and that's what came of it. So I just think that's absolutely gorgeous. Happy birthday, Susan. So this is the thank you card that I created using the inks. So let me tell you a little bit about these. Okay, so first I'll show you. So I picked up, she has them in 8 colors, so I swatched them out. Now these are, let me get my notes out here. Okay, they are not an oxide ink. They are not an oxide, which means that they have similar capabilities of the oxide, but they do not oxidize when you put water on them. So she called them a fusion ink. They are not formulated to work with black, which is the case. She said if you swipe it on there from the ink pad that you can see it. And I did try to stamp it in red and blue, and it just is not formulated for black. But that's okay because, we don't want it to be a distress oxide. We already have that. This is something completely different. So it does work in conjunction with water and any other multimedia stuff. So I wanted to show you that. This was just texture paste that I mixed with the re-inker and put it through a stencil. So there are re-inkers. These are watercolor re-inkers. It's not just for re-inking. You can actually put it on your mat, which I'll show you in a few minutes. And then you can use it. So I just mixed it with my knife, my palette knife, and put it through a stencil, and this is the red that I came out with. So it does work with your other mixed media stuff. So isn't that neat? And then I thought, well, I'm going to use my life-changing brushes and a stencil. So I picked up some of that blue and just used my brush right through the stencil, and that's what I got. So it's really interesting, okay? So then I decided to get out my gel press because I thought, well, I wonder, what would happen if I decided to put some on the gel press. So as I was playing with my gel press, I started picking up prints like this ink right here was what I was actually pulling off of this piece right here. And that's what I would have wasted, but I decided to go ahead and stamp it on a piece of cardstock. But what I wanted to show you, more so than how vibrant and vivid the colors are, but do you see that shiny on there? That is not, that is actually a drop of the pixie dust. It's called liquid pixie dust. And girls, this is gloriousness in a bottle. Look at that shimmer in there. Isn't that beautiful? So I'll be showing you this today too. So anyway, so I just stamped a little puddle of it, and then I took my stamp and started stamping on that, and that's how I got that design, which I thought was pretty interesting. So I'm just going to run through these real quick and show you some of the prints that I pulled. They were really, really pretty. I love how vibrant the colors are, which, you know, is important when you're watercoloring. You don't want anything to not, you know, you want it all to be there, but not mud. So if you can see, I have blue and green both on here, and it's not muddy. Okay. Then look at this one. This one, I just swiped the ink pad right across the gel press. And so this one right here, I pulled print off of the, I pulled ink off of it with my stamp, and that's what I used to stamp the other piece. So that came out with the ghost image in it. There's that one. I thought that one would be a really pretty subtle background. And then this one I did with the orange, yellow, and red that I just swiped across the ink, the gel press. So that was kind of neat playing with those. So I wanted to show you all of these inks and stamps are made in the USA, which I think is awesome. So this is the stamp, one of the stamps that I got. It was called You're a Dear, and it does have dies that match. And then here's one for a pumpkin, which we're going to do today. She has a great video on YouTube, Florette does. It's called The Case of the Disappearing Purple Pumpkin. And she uses this stamp. And it's really interesting when you're watching that video because she paints the purple pumpkin right here. And then she goes completely over it and changes it to a yellow pumpkin, which I think is amazing. So, I can't see my comments anymore, so I'm not sure. Are we still recording? Yeah? Okay. So, this right here is the, she calls it Big Bold Magnolias. So that's what I used to create the card. So I just stamped those. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about the black ink. So her black ink, she calls them the 3 essentials. And let me show you those. Her 3 essentials are these. It's the fade out ink. It's the blackout detail ink. So this dries almost instantly to the touch, and you can use it as Copic friendly and water friendly. So this is your go-to ink. And then she calls this Juicy, which is a very, very wet embossing type pad, watermark pad. It is really, really neat. So those were the 3 essentials that I went ahead and got. And they are available here in my shop, or you can go to Ink on 3 and purchase them there. I'll put the link down below. So I'm just going to show you. These are called Ink on 3 Florette Blooms Collection of Atelier ink. Okay, Atelier ink is the word atelier means artist's workshop. That's what that word means in French. So I think it's kind of interesting that she named these inks Atelier ink because they came out of the artist workshop. So you can see how very vibrant these colors are. I mean, just beautiful, beautiful colors. So I'm going to show you a little bit more as we're watercoloring. And, oh, I also wanted to tell you about the brush. So I really liked this water brush for 2 reasons. One, because it's long. So when you paint, you know that when you reach down here, you get, you know, finer tip control. But when you come back here on the paintbrush, you can actually get broader strokes. And I just really like how broad this paintbrush is. So, you know, I just really thought that that was a nice little brush. So I'm trying hard, guys. I don't see any of your comments at the moment. So I apologize if you're asking questions. I'm not seeing them. So I will try to answer them. Just go ahead and ask a question, and then I will make sure that I get it answered. I'm not sure why I can't see it. So I'll just keep going and show you what I learned from using these inks yesterday. I just came back from the Super Scrappers retreat, and I had a big box of Gloriousness in my craft room when I came back, so I was really excited. So the first thing is that I worked on my tonic mat, my tonic glass mat, and I did that for a couple of reasons. Because if you, oops, my iPad got in the way. Sorry. Because I can squirt the ink right here on my pad, and I don't, or I can mix it over here, and I don't have to worry about, you know, it getting in the way or puddling somewhere, because this mat is great for everything. So I used my mat for that. But I wanted to go ahead and do this pumpkin right here because I wanted to show you a couple of things. So I'm going to start with the orange. And the first thing that I noticed about the Atelier inks is normally you have to take a water-based ink and like put it on your pad, your mat like that, and then close it back up. But guess what? With these inks, you don't have to do that. You can, you know, certainly pick up the ink from right there and paint with it. But you can also actually just touch the water brush to the ink pad, which I thought was, you know, pretty functional. It doesn't do anything to your ink pad. So I'm going to bring my little rag in here because it does work better if when you're going to touch it to your ink pad if you go in with a dry brush. So I just wipe it off on my little towel here and then go in with a dry brush, and then so we're gonna start, okay? So I didn't use the no line for this one because I already made one like that, but I wanted to show you how beautifully crisp this black ink was. I mean, it was just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just gonna show you a little bit of this because you don't need to sit here and watch me, you know, paint this all day long. So, but the important part about this is that I want you to understand I am not a watercolorist. I am not one of these people that really even likes watercoloring, but I found that this was one of the simplest processes I've ever done. When I was making this last night, I told Kaylin, I said, you know, this is just so easy. It goes on smooth. You can get shading with it. I can take my re-inker, my watercolor re-inker. You have to shake it really well because it's thick. So sorry about that. I can't not shake it ahead of time, and you know, because it settles. So I'm just going to put a little drop right here on my mat. So it just takes a little tiny bit because I want a darker pigmentation. So I get full on color right here. Like this is the darkest this color is going to get. And the thing that I really liked most about this is how quickly this ink dries. Like, look at the shading that I can get from that. Isn't that beautiful? Can y'all see that? Seeing if I got a message from somebody. Okay. So, so I'm just going to go to another one right here because I want my shading to be a little bit darker around here, and then I'm just going to bring it up. Now, I am by no means a professional artist. I am not a watercolorist at all, so I'm just trying to, you know, show you how I did it as I'm trying to work with it. But I feel like it went on really easy, and I thought I got pretty good results with that for a first-timer. I'm sure that those of you that have worked with watercolor before could have lots of tips for me on what I'm doing what I'm doing wrong, because I know I'm not, you know, doing it probably the way that an art instructor or somebody would have you do it. But I just love picking it up with the re-inker and also having the pad here so that I can get a little bit, you know, different shades. So I can get a lot of tonality with this, which is what I think is interesting. So I can go real light to real dark. Isn't that beautiful? So I wanted to show you, I'm not going to sit here and finish this whole thing for you guys, but I will post the card, the completed card online. And but I did just want to show you, you know, some of the really pretty effects that I can get with that. So, whoops, sorry, keep hitting the camera for some reason. All of these do have re-inkers with them, so these are available. let me show you this green. So if you dry this, this is what I wanted to tell you. If you dry this, let's say I want to go in with my yellow. Once it's dry, you can actually paint over it with a different color, and it will actually cover it up. And that's how I ended up with that red-orange look on my other card, was because I painted it red, and then I decided I don't like that. I think I want to put some orange in there. So you can see that yellow starting to appear in there. Isn't that gorgeous? Like, I didn't have to work on that at all. This was just, you know, I'm just painting over it. It's so easy. And it makes me want to have that watercolor look now. You know, I was really scared of watercoloring. I know when Susan did that background and she said, oh, it's really easy to paint these flowers. You just go in and you do the stem here and the stem. I thought, yeah, right. There's no way I'm going to be able to do that. But you know what? I think that this makes watercoloring less scary. It does for me anyway. So I just wanted to show you how I could go in with these other colors. So I think the colors are gorgeous. I think the composition of the ink is amazing. I just urge you guys to try this. I mean, what harm is there, you know? So I'm going to go in with a little bit of water, and I'm going to, you know, just saturate that color a little bit. And look, I'm going to go right over this. Can you see that yellow kind of just fading away into the background? But I still want to keep just a little bit of it, so I might not completely cover that up. Look at that. Look how smooth that goes on. And it goes on even smoother if you wet the paper first. So like if you take your brush and you go over the paper and just get the paper kind of moist. I am using Tonix watercolor cardstock. So I imagine it does act and behave a little bit differently on cardstock that's not, or on regular cardstock as opposed to watercolor cardstock. Okay, so this is last one. Then I want to show you the different colors. So this water brush makes it really, really easy. All right, so I'm going to wipe this up. I'm going to show you how vivid and bright that green is. I love this green. So on the inks, there's a lip right here that you pick up, and you guys can tell that I have gotten inky today. So I've been getting inky with it. So I'm just going to pick up some of that green, and I'm going to just highlight the things that I would have highlighted. And by the way, it's important to tell you that this ink is Copic friendly. So if you use the black fade, the fade out is good with Copics as well as the blackout ink. So if you just like the consistency of the black ink, you can absolutely use them with Copics. So I just think that that is so pretty, y'all. Look at that. Makes it so easy to be able to watercolor. I'm not good at watercoloring, but how easy is that? Just simple, simple, simple. I can only imagine the applications that I'm going to be using this ink for. I hope, Florette, if you're listening, I hope that your next release will be some regal tones or some pastel tones. Maybe if I can ask for a personal choice. So I'm just getting that wet because I'm going to add a little bit of ink. There we go. And then, of course, when it dries, it looks, you know, really, really pretty. It does look better. So look at that. See how easy that is? So, let's see what else I can show you. Okay. So I wanted to show you something with the gel press because I was playing with that. Now I've lost my gel press. Where did it go? It's underneath all this stuff over here. Okay, there it is. So this is just a tag from Graphic 45. Actually, it's a tag die. I took the die and cut it out. This is the gel press. If those of you haven't heard of this, this is a really good way to do imprinting backgrounds and stuff. And you can take the ink pad and put it right on top, and it picks up the ink. And I'm just gonna, you know, just put some red on there. I'm gonna take my yellow because I'm trying to create a fall kind of background, so I want, you know, so I want some yellow in there. So I'm just putting some yellow on, and then I'm going to put a little bit of orange over here in the corner. Okay. I can take my brush and I can, you know, do some dots in there, some swirls. And I can pick up some of the ink and move it over here. And just do a little bit of, you know, just swirling with some water, just making it kind of interesting. You can do this with a gel press. It makes it really, really funky background. And then I'm going to take my tag and I'm going to just pick a place. So I think this will be an interesting one. And I'm going to pull up a print in just a second. I'm just making sure it's saturating that tag. And then you never know what you're going to get when you pull these up because they're, look at that. How cute would that be for a background? So this is just so much fun because you could sit there and do this all day long. So this is just a mixed media paper that I'm using right now. And I'm going to just moisten that. And then I'm going to pick up another print. With this ink, it just smooth and just, let's see. And I don't want to waste it. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So this is a way to create some backgrounds with this. I could see me making some die cuts, or maybe even just cutting that off and then putting a stamp over top of it. So lots and lots of different applications for this ink, I can tell you, that I'm going to be trying. Let me see what else I can say. I do like the colors. They're very, very bold. And I think that is probably all that I have to let you guys know. Join me. Oh, no, I didn't tell you about the pixie dust. Oh, that's what I'm forgetting. Oh my gosh, y'all. Okay, so how could I forget about the most important thing, which is the glitter? Do you see how easily I'm wiping up my mat? So just so you know, I do have the travel mats in my shop. So if you want one, just private message me and I'll get it to you. So the pixie dust, you just, the thing that I liked the most about this pixie dust is because let's say I want green, you know, green glittery sparkle or something for some reason. I want to, I don't know, green sparkles. This pixie dust is a very neutral glitter, so it's going to pick up any color that you put it with. But the good thing about this is that it's not going to move the ink around that's on your paper. And you can use it as a dropper in there to get it out of there. And it's just very saturated, so you only need a tiny, tiny little bit. And I'm going to take some of this, and I'm going to mix it with the green. So now you're going to be able to see, am I in camera, in frame? Okay, there we go. You can see that I now have a green paint that has sparkles in it. Isn't that neat? So you could go back over your painting, and this is going to mix right in here, and you're not going to have silver sparkle, but you're going to have green sparkle, or whatever color you mix this pixie dust with. And I don't know about you guys, but I have to put pixie dust on everything now because, you know, we all like it sparkly. But I can't wait to see how some of you have already started thinking about what you could do with this, these products. I mean, they're just, I think they're gorgeous. I was really excited because I said, oh, even I can watercolor. And I know that's difficult if I can do it. Okay, so let me get that right there and then we'll be done with that. How about that? Gorgeous, huh? Look at that. Now I know if I can do that, I know you guys can. Look at how beautiful that is. Are y'all catching that shimmer? Okay, so beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So again, this is the new product called Atelier from Ink on 3, Florette Bloom. And I would like to send out a personal thank you to her for getting my shipment ready so fast, because we were trying to release it at the Super Scrappers, but it didn't come in on time. So Florette, thank you so much for allowing me to be the first one to try these inks. And if I have forgotten anything, I sincerely apologize. I tried to bring you the best release, guys, that I could, because this is this is a really neat project. This is a really neat, I just really think that typifies this card right here, shows just how versatile this product can be. So when you pick up those red tones and yellow tones in there, I just think it's amazing. So Florette, thank you so much for bringing us this product. And if you guys have any questions, just put them down below and I will try to answer them as soon as possible. I apologize for not being able to see the comments, but I know you all are here, and thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you all have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.